Hello, happy Friday, or whatever day of the week you are watching this on. If you are new here, then thanks for stopping by. My name is Maddie, and if you are not new here, then thank you for coming back. It makes me feel very special. Today, I am very excited. I wanted to change up my surroundings. Yesterday, I started writing in the morning, and I got maybe like 150 words in before I just had the overwhelming sense of imposter syndrome that I think anyone can relate to at some point in their life. And I just felt like my plot was getting away from me. My characters weren't doing what I wanted them to be doing, and it just got pretty overwhelming. So I took a step back. I ended up printing out the 60,000 words that I have written, so quite a hefty document currently, and I set it aside. I set aside my computer and I just didn't think about my story for the rest of the day. I just think I was getting pretty burnt out on it since I have been pushing myself so hard to meet pretty high word count goals daily. So yeah, I just kind of took a break, had a breather, slept, and now I'm ready to get back into it, ready to reevaluate those plot threads that kind of got away from me, rein them back in, and just keep chugging along until I hit that 100,000 word count. So I'm pretty excited for that. I thought I would take you guys along with me to like a little coffee shop, maybe get a little bite of food, some coffee, and yeah, just have a good time writing. And I think that's going to be what we do today. If you are interested in keeping up with me further, you can always follow me on any of my social media accounts, which are linked down below. And you can also sign up for my newsletter, which will be going out February 1st. So like next week already. Maybe, yeah, next week. Happening pretty fast. In other news, my writing may be a little bit clunkier. I have this handy dandy splint on. My day job is a dog groomer, and that's a lot of wear and tear on the wrist. So carpal tunnel, getting that figured out. But yeah, I think that's everything that is new. That's what we're going to be working on this weekend. And yeah, let's just dive in. To go to the coffee shop. I got my laptop, my manuscript, keys, wallet, all the other important stuff. I left because, you guys, it was so awkward. I went to my favorite coffee shop. It's normally such good vibes. Nothing ever really goes wrong. But I sat down and was trying to write, and these people on the other end of the coffee shop were just having a very loud, impassioned, and ignorant conversation. And yeah, it was just not a very good experience, which I've never had there, and I'll still go back, but not if I see those people. But yeah, so I got a little bit of writing done. I got out of the house, which was nice. So I'm gonna go back home. We'll do some writing sprints there, and I'll take you guys along. But yeah, so I didn't film really much of anything in there because it was just like not a good time. But I'll see you back at home. Hello, I am back, and this is a pretty abrupt transition from the last segment of this video. And that's because I ended up taking a break from writing after that whole like coffee shop fiasco, and then yesterday, Friday, I didn't write either. And then of course, so I missed my upload day. So today's Saturday, and I'll get the video up today. And for this part, I obviously don't even have my Mac up here, and that's because I am gonna write today, but I just wanted to talk about rest and the importance of it. After that whole thing, I just was not in the mood to write, and I think that I have just I was at the point where I was burning myself out on TCF, and I think that's because I've been pushing myself so hard to write. The current word count is 62,000 words, so I reached the 50,000 word mark last Friday, so that's about 12,000 words in a week, which is quite a lot. And I do work full time, so my days have been working, coming home, writing, working, writing, or if it's a day off, writing. And my entire like headspace was in my story world. So yeah, I was just feeling pretty burnt out. So I just gave myself that day and a half to be back in the real world, if that makes sense. I played some video games. I watched the first episode of Last of Us, which I really enjoyed. I never played the game, and zombies really aren't like my preferred antagonist, but I thought it was really interesting that it was a fungal infection, because I could totally see that happening in real life. And Pedro Pascal, of course, you can't go wrong, and of course I've seen that edit on TikTok. So yeah, so I really enjoyed that. And then I also sat down and watched All Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix, and that movie was incredible and heartbreaking. It's one that I would highly recommend. It is very violent, so that is like a little trigger warning, but just a really incredible movie, especially for me. Like, there is going to be war in my story, and I think so it's important for anyone who I think writes war or enjoys that genre, or just for us as Americans, honestly, because of the impact Marvel has had. And I don't want to start like a discussion or controversy, but it's not a hidden fact that Marvel takes money from the US government and technology, and in return the military has the final say on Marvel scripts in regards to how critical they are of military, or I mean, the only like good white person in Black Panther was a CIA agent. So there is like this constant stream of that war is necessary or good. So I think it's really important to remind ourselves that what is the cost, you know? And it is in German. It's about World War I. It's in German, but the subtitles, like, I just think it's really worth it to watch, and it was one that just really stuck with me. And I don't want to give away too much, because I think you just have to like experience it. But yeah, so that's kind of what I did, and then it was just nice to kind of get out of that headspace. And I think pulling myself back, it allowed me to kind of think about what is writing or being productive, because I think there's this idea that if you're not writing, you're not working. Because I know like Stephen King says he writes every single day, and it's like, that's great when that's your full-time job, and you can do that. But for those of us who don't, you know, like we have other jobs or children to take care of or anything else, like there's so much going on in life that we can't always devote all of our time to writing. So I think it's important to remember that so many other parts of writing that aren't necessarily like typing out the words or writing them down is still writing. Thinking about your plot, thinking through plot holes or plot points to solve, or thinking up character motivations. It's just the act of thinking about your story counts as writing, because you are getting yourself prepared to get into that flow state and write. Even resting, because your brain only has so much energy, and you can't constantly be putting forth 100% effort. So taking a break and resting so you can come back with like fresh eyes, a healthy brain energy is going to help as well. So that's why I'm not going to do any writing sprints on this week's vlog, because it's okay to rest and you don't have to burn yourself out to finish a manuscript, because I have just been so pushing myself for a deadline because I want to get a developmental edit done, and then another draft, beta readers, draft, line editing, draft, and then going on from there. So there's like this never-ending to-do list, it feels like, and I think that's why I've just been like so in my head, you have to write, you have to be writing, getting it done, and it's just not happening. So I just wanted to show that side, because writing is hard. Even if you love it, which I do love it, it can still get difficult. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just the way of life. No matter what you do, there's going to be difficult times and easy times. So yeah, that's just kind of where I wanted to take this week's video. I know that it was just kind of, we're all over the place this week. But yeah, I think that's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in to this, like, not what I was planning at all little vlog. As always, you can follow me. I'll have the link for my newsletter, which will be going out in a few days actually. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, even though it was not what I wanted to be putting out, you can give it a thumbs up, or subscribe would make me feel great. But thank you so much, and I will see you guys next Friday.